Mike Tyson. Iron Mike. Mike was a beast back in the day. Terrifying. What is happening, guys? Martin Martinez back again. In this video, we'll be talking about Jake Paul and his recent fight against Mike Perry, my thoughts, and ultimately, is Jake Paul a real boxer? That's a question for you guys. If you like the content, again, please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Also, please don't forget to buy me a coffee. Link is down below in the description. So, guys, let's get into regards to this. So, the fight is just taking place now, well, I'm in the UK, so it took place in the morning for us. Now, if you wish to follow that fight, you wish to watch it on pay-per-view, it's actually £20, which most people I know probably didn't necessarily. It's not like UFC in the same way where you can see it on the BBC Sport, we can see it on BT Sport and things like that. But at the same time, it is what it is, you know. You have to pay for these things. So let's quickly get a quick rundown of these two and what was going on with this fight. Okay, so Jake Paul, 27 years old, YouTuber turned boxer. Now it seems like this fight has only come around by set circumstances, more like we could say an opportunity or mishap. Now, Jake Paul was set to fight Mike Tyson. Now, for me, I don't know my thoughts on this ultimately for Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's an old guy now, and it's kind of a question of, and again, this is a video I'm going to get up to in my next video about when you're getting too old. So Mike Tyson's at a point where, you know, Mike Tyson was like, you know what, let's do it. This is the future of boxing and so forth. But Mike Tyson's an old guy. Now, don't get me wrong, it's Mike Tyson. He could still throw his jab and he can still do his things. You know, a guy in the street wouldn't be aware, wouldn't understand. Well, obviously I know who Mike Tyson is, but the guy in the street won't necessarily just know how to defend or deal with somebody like Mike Tyson. Iron Mike. Mike was a beast back in the day. Terrifying. And even now, I don't think anyone really wants to try it. But he's getting on. He's an older guy. So, I mean, I don't know, if from the perspective of, you know, boxing sort of history, do you really want to go down in that sort of scenario as an older guy? I know it's going to be like an exhibition match, but still. So, yeah, I mean, we'll wait and see when that comes up. But obviously, for the cash and the money, for Mike, it's another purse. And for Jake Paul as well, it's obviously, you know, it's notoriety for him. But that's being said, that one's yet to take place because Mike had some medical issues, and that obviously postponed the fight. So then we got to this point now. So we're in a scenario now where Jake Paul wants to obviously stay in shape, and he wants to stay on form. He was prepped for the Mike fight, but obviously that wasn't possible. And this individual now who was sparring with him at one point and seems to have stepped in, and this is Mike Perry. I don't personally know that much about him. Apparently he's 32 years old, and he left the UFC in 2021, and now he's into bare knuckle fighting, bare knuckle boxing, sorry, and that seems to be the focus. The fight's going on as well just next to me, so you can see that as well as I talk through it. Now, next point I want to talk about, the actual fight itself is saying that Paul landed about 52 jabs and 44 power jabs, but Perry was knocked down in the first minute of the first round. He was knocked down in the second round and then in the 6th rounds. And Perry beat the 10 count each time, but by the 6th round, he'd absorbed about 96 punches from Paul while only landing 33 of his own. And then ultimately the referee halted the fight. So, I mean, yeah, it was, you could say, a mismatch. But that being said, this will get into the next question about Paul and, you know, him being a boxer. I mean, it is what it is. Money-wise, and this is the thing what you got to bear in mind, it's not just about saying, so because some people take the view to say he's a boxer, he's not a boxer. That's one thing, but at the end of the day, it is about cash, it's about money. So money-wise, Jake Paul made roughly estimated $3 million guaranteed US, and then because of the pay-per-view sales, he's got about 6% share in that. He could get up to about $8 million. In respect of Mike Perry, again, he's not, obviously, it's not his platform as such. He was guaranteed at least $1 million as a purse, and then it could go up to $3 million, subject to pay-per-view rights and so forth like that. So, you know, there's money to be made. So for someone who's going to get the opportunity to fight someone who may not necessarily get that opportunity in a normal set of circumstances for Mike Perry, why does he not try that? Now. Let's get to the very final point. Now, you got to bear in mind, people, the question is Jake Paul a real boxer? Now, I'm not necessarily a boxing expert. I never would claim to be. But we got to bear in mind, those days of those boxers that we look to, like Lennox Lewis, you know, you look for those boxers like George Foreman, obviously Muhammad Ali, Manny Pacquiao. I used to love the way he was going and do what he was doing. You know, from the Philippines. You know, those times have changed. And I think you have to be realistic. It's not the same as once it was, you know, before. Roy Jones Jr., you know, back in the day. It's just not the same type of how could I say, awareness for boxing anymore. I don't know that many people that are killing themselves to say I'm going to see the next boxing match compared to back in the day, you know, in the 70s and the 80s coming up and everything else in the 90s. You know, those times have changed. So with that in mind, you know, people say Jake Paul's not a true boxer because he's not gone through a traditional route to get to boxing. But whether he's a YouTuber or not, what difference does it make? I mean, he's putting on exhibition matches. He's making the matches that draw attention. Yes, there's some hype, and he has to big up the event. So you get this little, you know, these little post-match sort of little issues. But that's the whole point of what they're trying to do. So, you know, I mean, the exhibition with Mike Tyson as well is kind of the same thing. I mean, he actually has a work ethic. He puts the time in. You can see what he's doing. Maybe when it comes to certain aspects of training, maybe that's something where, you know, if he was a traditional boxer and go through the traditional route of starting like an amateur level and building up, fair enough. But he's not like he's gone from nothing to nothing at all. He's not trying to do any work to get to where he is. So my question for you really, guys, do you think he's a real boxer? Do you think he's realistically got what it takes to actually fight someone at that level? From when I've looked at the research in it, some people are saying that he basically will choose aging boxers or aging athletes or basically non-relevant athletes to fight against. But again, you know, it's an exhibition scenario that he's in. You know, he's not trying to compete to try and be the world heavyweight champion, is what it seems now. And even if he was, he probably won't even have that much joy. He'd probably make more money doing what he's doing than he would in the respect of going through the actual proper professional you know, boxing route as well. So it's like the same with Floyd Mayweather now. Floyd Mayweather will do exhibition matches. He'll do matches of interest. It's not necessarily something to say he's pushing to try and get a title. So the whole sort of concept of, you know, what's a true boxer or not, I mean, the guy can fight, but, you know, I think we have to sort of be aware that times have changed, and that back in the day when, you know, people had the black and white TV and we'll watch Muhammad Ali fight, you know, those times have gone. So leave your comments down below, guys. Again, don't forget to buy me for coffee. I do appreciate it. These videos do take a bit of time, but I'm enjoying the process, and see you in the next video. Peace.